On the evening of January 29, 2025, a devastating mid-air collision over the Potomac River near Washington, D.C., resulted in the tragic loss of 67 lives. This incident, involving American Eagle Flight 5342 and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter, stands as the deadliest U.S. air disaster since 2001. American Eagle Flight 5342, operated by PSA Airlines using a Bombardier CRJ 700, was scheduled to fly from Wichita, Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport in Kansas to Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, DCA, in Arlington, Virginia. The aircraft carried 60 passengers and 4 crew members. The flight departed Wichita at approximately 6 p.m. CST. The weather in Wichita that day was clear, with temperatures around 5.8 degrees Celsius, 43 degrees Celsius, providing favorable conditions for takeoff. The initial phase of the flight proceeded without incident. As the flight approached Washington, D.C. around 9 p.m. EST, the crew prepared for landing on runway 33 at DCA. Concurrently, a U.S. Army Sikorsky UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter, call sign PAT-25, was conducting a training mission originating from Davison Army Airfield at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. The helicopter, with a crew of 3, was operating in airspace near the airport. At approximately 9:12 p.m. EST, the 2 aircraft collided mid-air over the Potomac River, about half a mile short of runway 33. Eyewitnesses described a sudden explosion, followed by debris descending into the icy waters below. The collision resulted in both aircraft crashing into the river, leading to the deaths of all 64 individuals on the plane and the 3 soldiers aboard the helicopter. Emergency response teams from multiple agencies, including the Coast Guard, local fire departments, and law enforcement, were dispatched to the crash site. The recovery operation was hampered by adverse weather conditions, including heavy winds and ice on the river. Over the following days, rescuers recovered 41 bodies from the crash site. Efforts to retrieve additional victims and aircraft debris continued amid challenging conditions. Among the victims were 28 members of the figure skating community, including young skaters and their coaches returning from a development camp in Wichita. The tight-knit skating community in the Washington, D.C. area was deeply affected, with emotional gatherings held at local ice rinks to mourn and remember the victims. Notable figures lost in the crash include coach Inna Volyanskaya and civil rights attorney Kia Duggins. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, in collaboration with the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and the U.S. Army, initiated a comprehensive investigation into the cause of the collision. Preliminary findings indicated that both aircraft were executing last-minute maneuvers in an attempt to avoid the collision. Investigators recovered the flight data recorders from both aircraft and are analyzing the communications between the flight crews and air traffic control. The investigation is ongoing, with a preliminary report expected within 30 days and a final report anticipated within a year. The tragedy had a profound impact on the community, particularly the local figure skating community. Vigils and memorials were held at local ice rinks to honor their memory. In the aftermath of the collision, President Donald Trump addressed the nation, expressing deep sorrow over the tragic loss of life. He extended his condolences to the families of the victims and assured them that the government was committed to providing support during difficult times. The president praised the efforts of first responders, emergency personnel, and recovery teams who worked tirelessly in the harsh conditions to search for survivors and recover remains. He also emphasized the importance of aviation safety and pledged full cooperation between federal agencies, the FAA, the NTSB, and the military to determine the cause of the crash. Additionally, he reassured the American people that steps would be taken to prevent similar incidents in the future, promising a thorough review of airspace coordination policies. He concluded his address by calling for unity and strength, urging the nation to come together in support of the grieving families and communities affected by the tragedy. The incident has raised significant concerns regarding air traffic control procedures, the integration of military training flights within civilian airspace, and overall aviation safety protocols. Lawmakers have called for congressional hearings to address these issues and to evaluate the staffing and operational protocols of air traffic control systems. As the investigation continues, the nation mourns the loss of the 67 individuals who perished in this tragic accident, and efforts remain focused on uncovering the factors that led to this devastating event. This tragedy serves as a somber reminder of the importance of stringent safety protocols in aviation and the need for continuous vigilance to prevent such incidents in the future. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to A Very Tragic Story for more in-depth analyses of significant events. Your support helps us continue to provide detailed and thoughtful content.